hola. Welcome to another episode of Mujer de Éxito Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. I am Marty Angel, your host for this podcast. Soy Marty Angel, su anfitriona para este podcast, este show. Let me tell you, there are no coincidences why you're here today listening to this. Remember, this message came to you because you're supposed to listen to it. No hay coincidencia que ustedes están escuchando este mensaje hoy. Y me da mucho gusto de que estén aquí. I am really happy that you are here. Just remember that this is a podcast, entrepreneurial podcast, where we share stories of women, mujerpreneurs, that have gone from surviving to thriving and more. Entrepreneurial roller coaster is what we're all on. Siempre estamos aquí para compartir las historias de éxito de todas nuestras mujeres. Mujerpreneur, you have come to the right place, and I'm so excited for today's show. But first,
festivals, football, flannels. Some say fall is their favorite time of year. And this fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against COVID-19 variants. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster shot appointment as soon as you're eligible. And don't forget to enjoy the foliage. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
welcome, everybody, to another episode of Mujer de Éxito Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. And I am just so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, whether you're watching me on the video cast here on the YouTube channel, or you're actually listening to this on the Mujer de Éxito Unbounded podcast. Wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, I want you to know that Marty Angel podcast, this Mujer de Éxito Unbounded, is on every channel. We are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Podbean, we are on Good Pods, we are on Audible, we are on Amazon. We are anywhere there's a podcast, you can find Mujer de Éxito Unbounded. And this is a podcast where we get raw, we get real about what it's like to be a mujerpreneur. I've coined that term. I took mujer and entrepreneur and put it together, and now it's mujerpreneur. And here's one thing. I want to put a caveat here. This is a bilingual podcast, but of course, you don't need to be bilingual, and every Latina out there is not bilingual. So you are a woman of color, a woman of culture, and maybe you are bilingual, but Spanish is not your second language. Maybe your other language like Farsi or whatever it is. But you are welcome here. Know that you have a safe space. And today, ahora, I am so incredibly grateful because I was thinking about what can I do to help the mujerpreneur besides giving you tips and stuff. And then somebody said, Marty, do you know where I can get some money? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I do. You know, I sleep with a money man. No, that's not, no cierto. Pero anyway, sí cierto, pero no cierto. Okay. So we're having fun, and I'm going to have fun. I have invited a special guest. Her name is Larissa Urias, and no, she's not related. I wish she were, but maybe she is somewhere. And she is actually a business development officer for Accessity.org, and they are a microfinance lending company. And this young lady is a wealth of knowledge. Besides being beautiful, she is a wealth of knowledge. She is Larissa Urias from Accessity.org. Larissa, thank you so much for saying yes to being on the show and helping us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, mija.
Hi, Marty. My name is Larissa Orias. I'm the Business Development Officer for those who speak Spanish. Soy la oficial de desarrollo de negocios para Accessory. Somos una compañía sin fin de lucro y hacemos préstamos para gente que quiere iniciar o crecer su negocio. We're a nonprofit CDFI lender who lends to people who want to start or expand their business. I've been with Accessory for 5 years, ya 5 años, ya me siento bien. Ya, pero todavía no he alcanzado a Javier o a mi boss, pero ya me los alcanzo. And I cover the areas of Imperial Valley and Coachella Valley, but we do serve the SoCal area, which is Riverside, and Empire, San Diego. We also go as far as Orange County, LA, and we keep growing. So we're just so excited to be here. Muchas gracias, Mari, por tenernos aquí en tu podcast. La verdad que es un honor el poder estar aquí y el poder platicar un poquito más cómo le podemos ayudar a las mujeres que quieren empezar ese negocio.
Sí, and welcome, gracias. So I have, I love to get started. So what people always ask me, well, what do you do? Well, besides being a business owner, I want to share with them just a little bit, and then I want you to share a little bit of your story on how you actually came to, I think you have a story to tell me that kind of motivated you to actually begin to work with Accessory. My story is I've always been a straddler. A straddler is in my vocabulary, what that means is that I've always been a job person and an entrepreneur. And I can remember, let me tell you the story. This is so cute. I think it's so cute. Okay, so when I was little, and I still remember I was in the 5th grade, I was really intense about learning vocabulary, new vocabulary words. It was my goal to learn and use 5 vocabulary words every week. And so then I was selling door to door Christmas cards. And what happened was in one of those, when I knocked on the door, this lady comes out and she goes, "Oh my, aren't you this cutest little thing?" I was 6 years old, by the way. And she said to me, "Oh, you're just a cute little entrepreneur, aren't you?" And I thought, I'm going to remember the word. I'm going to remember that word. And then by the time I got to, like I said, 5th grade, I remembered that word and I thought, that's what I am. That's what I want people to call me. It's an entrepreneur. And so now many moons later, here I am. And I've always lived as a job person and an entrepreneur. But the reason that that's important is because I want you guys to realize that sometimes you don't need to be just a job person and you don't need to be just an entrepreneur. But if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a mujerpreneur, this young lady, Larissa, is going to give us some tips as soon as she tells us her little story on how she got to Accessory, which is, again, a microfinance company that I was really surprised to learn about in my, I put big girl pants on and realized, oh, wow, you don't need to go to the bank all the time. There's somebody else out there who is willing to help you grow. So Larissa, tell us a little story about why you like entrepreneurship and what led you here to Accessory, and then we'll move on to other things.
Of course. Well, I was working at a credit union for 5 years, and I saw the opportunity of working for Accessory. So I personally didn't know what Accessory was or what did it do. And I started researching, and I really loved the mission. And I related to the mission because at the credit union, we were always about giving back to the community. But through that story, my parents lived in Mexicali, Baja California, I was born here in the U.S., but they took me to Mexicali, Baja California. I actually did kindergarten and first grade over there. And my parents were always entrepreneurs. No matter what, they had their jobs and they had a side hustle. My dad will open the gate. I remember he would get out of work, open the gate, and we'll sell burgers. And then he stopped selling burgers, and then he would open the gate again, and they started raspaderia. So in Mexico, it's very easy to just open your doors to your house and open your business. Later on in time, my mom decided it was just time to come to the U.S. to give my sister and I a better education. And we came to the United States. My dad had a really good job over there, but he took the risk in coming to the U.S. without even knowing English. And so they came over here. My dad, he had no papers. They had no resources on how they could start the business, their dreams that they left in Mexico. So my mom had to be the breadwinner for a while. And, you know, I'm always going to respect my parents for everything they did for us, because this is why I'm here now. And that was our story. And, you know, I was like, if I can help so many people who come from other places and advocate them and give them the resources they need, the tools for them to not be able to leave their dreams behind because they came to the US and they're just scared to ask questions, why not? So this is really, it gives me the chills, really, because I love the mission of Accessity, and we're really here to give you the tools, give you the homework, give you everything it takes for you to open the business or to expand the business, but it's up to you to be able to put in the work and get it done. So that's my little story, Marty.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what? It's so amazing, you know, because I always tell my students, being a former college professor, would tell my students that when the student is ready, the teacher will come, right? And so that translates into a lot of things. When you are ready, when you're ready to get that message, when you're ready to do what it is that you need to do, it'll come. But it takes people like yourself and myself. And I've always been a champion and a leader, and, you know, always getting in front of the pack and doing things for the underserved, the underprivileged, and the underrepresented. And unfortunately, we as Latinas are still that. I can remember, you know, from when I was in college, I was one of 5 Latinas in the School of Business at San Diego State University. And so, you know, and life goes on and life goes on, and you just become this trailblazer that you don't know what it is. And I think Accessity has, in my eyes, right, I'm an outsider looking in, and I do want to say something to everybody who's listening to me. I have not used any funds from Accessity because my husband happens to be the CFO of Accessity. And so I'm not allowed, but I can talk about it, right? And so, so what I love about, she said, Larissa said she loves the mission, and I love the mission as well. And I've read your mission statement, and I've read a lot of things that you do. And I watch how you guys promote the small, the micro business. And a lot of people don't understand that a micro business is a person or a business that has 10 or less employees and has made $500,000 or less in their year, right? And that's gross sales. So that's what is important. And I love how you guys take the time to educate, because you guys have like boot camps, right? And things like that. I know that you have events because I've been a speaker, a social media speaker at your event. But tell us a little bit about the events that you have to support the micro businesspreneur.
Yeah, so throughout the year, we have academias. These are funded by Eva Longoria Foundation. And we have those academias for free to people who want to just start that business. And we also have just our regular academies, which they're in English, but usually the academias are only for Latina women who speak Spanish. Those they can get advantage of those academies. We do have different opportunities for people to attend in-person events throughout the years. We did have, that's where I saw you last time. We had the Samuel Adams Bring the American Dream coaching event. And that event is also free for people who are in the food and beverage business, and they can get some great advice. It's a speed coaching event that we have, and they can go meet other people and also get just coaching from the experts at that event. And I mean, those are really just events that we have throughout the years, but we do partner with other resources like the Small Business Development Center, Women's Center. We do have a program that if you're just a lead or a client, we can connect you directly to the Samuel Adams Brewing Company. It's kind of like a coaching resource that they give to people for free for those who need more advice in marketing, packaging, and all that. And we also have the Trust Plus, where we could send clients who, they're having challenges in credit, their credit's not that great, and they need more coaching in the credit or just the financials itself. So we can connect them with them too. So that's what we have to offer, but we do have a couple. So if they follow us on social media, we can keep them posted on all the academies that we have throughout the year.
Beautiful. Yes. Definitely follow accessity.org on social media. And if you can't find them, send me a DM and I will certainly connect you as well. Larissa, I have another question. One question that came up right here with one of my listeners. And she was saying, how hard is it, and as I would say, not hard, because I don't like the word hard, right? Because
how challenging.
How challenging. All right. So let's replace that word. How challenging is it to apply for a loan with you guys?
Okay. We try to make the process as smooth as possible. We're not a lender who would just take your information and run your credit and go from there. We actually take the time to connect you with the business development officer in your area to talk with you, learn more about your business, learn more about your needs and your wants. We go through an inquiry process where we ask you, where's your credit? How are your sales? What's your monthly income? Do you have any collateral? That way we can come up with a quote to give you more understanding of what interest rate are you looking at, monthly payments. We want to make sure that we quote you for an amount that you can actually sustain a monthly payment. So we go from there based off the inquiry call. If we see that there's some challenges in the credit or in the cash flow, that's where we connect you to different resources. But honestly, it's not hard. If you apply for a loan that's less than $8,000, if we have a full package, we can approve you in less than 3 days. If it's a loan that has to go through full underwriting up to $100,000, that one can take about 2 to 3 weeks to give you an answer. But right now we're very competitive in that sense, and we do use a flexible grid where we don't just go based on your credit score. There's other things we take into account for us to be able to calculate an interest rate. So everything's very hands-on. You'll get to speak to a person, not a computer all the time. So that's what we pride ourselves, that you're able to speak to someone through the phone.
That's great. That's great. I want to also share another thing. Many of you, my listeners, know that besides being a business coach, I too am still, I'm a digital marketer. I'm a certified digital marketing educator, and I am a professional network marketer. I know that everybody always says, oh my God, MLM and all of this stuff. But you know what? It is a viable business. It's a viable business. Basically, the reason that people have such a sour taste in their mouth is because they go in without knowing the facts. They go in thinking, I signed the dotted line, where's my money? And that's not how it works. This is a business, right? And so the reason that I'm bringing this up is because there might be some of my listeners out there, or many of my listeners that are network marketers. And I don't want them to think that they can't also apply, because being a network marketer, you're a business owner. You are still a business owner. Now, I would assume that you, at least the company that I work with has been studied by your company and by Accessity, and it's made determination on whether or not it can lend. Besides the fact that I'm sure it's an individual thing, I'm sure that you also have to take a look at the entity that this person is connected to, and it has to be a viable entity. And I'm proud to say that the company that I decided to partner with ended up being a viable company that you guys would lend to. So I want to make sure that as a network marketer, I want you to think about, do you need more inventory? Do you need more technology? Do you need more coaching? Whatever it is you need, there's obviously an outlay of cash. What would you say to them, Larissa? What would you say to those mujerpreneurs that are thinking about maybe doing a network marketing? How can they proceed with you?
I would love to speak to them first, just to do a mini interview to see how's everything going, credit-wise, just the cash flow, how's cash flow going as well. Once we talk about it, either I could tell them, let's apply. I can help them with the online application, or I would let them know, let's just focus on 3 months of sales, deposit all the cash that we can, and then we can proceed from there. But definitely, Marty, just talking to them at first and getting to know the client, interview them and assess them would be the first step. The worst thing you would want to do is apply in so many places and your credit will decrease. That's just something that it's not good whenever you're applying with a serious lender. We take a look at how many places have you applied for and you've been denied. So definitely talk to me, or if you're in the areas where there's other business development officers that could serve you, I would definitely connect you to them as well, and you'll be able to have that little mini interview.
Perfect. That's perfect. I have a question. So you have business development officers, and I know that you guys, I have an amazing little story. So what I love to do is I troll you guys. I troll you guys, and I actually look and see who you guys. So you guys actually give money, and then somehow these people get on the local media, right? You like highlight them or whatever, and so there you also give, in a sense, you give a little bit of free marketing as well. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for us, it's great to use our clients' success stories to motivate others into, applying for that loan, getting that capital that they need to start or expand the business. We have some airtime in KUSI. If you follow us on social media, you'll be able to see some of the shoots that my CEO, Elizabeth Scotch, has been able to do. We're also, every time we talk to clients, we put them in our flyers. Of course, all our clients that we use pictures of, we get a sign knowledge saying, it's fine to use my pictures. So every year we choose different clients who we make site visits and we take professional pictures at no cost. And we're able to use those throughout the year. And we also give those pictures to our clients so they can use them in any marketing that they need to use on. We also try to help our clients by inviting them to our academies, talking about their story and sharing that story with others. So they'll be able to, showcase their business as well. But every time that we as a team also try to go eat, we always try to stay local, shop local, eat at our client spots. We have a website, and on the website, we do have a list where we can direct you to our local businesses that we have helped out. And that's just a great place to check it out. So you'll be able to shop local in different areas of the SoCal areas that we serve. So that's another thing that we could possibly share later on through your story, Marty, on how clients can go and visit that website and look at our clients that we have helped out throughout the years.
That's amazing. And the other thing I want to share with you, so one of the things that's really important is because you guys tend to service the same type of people that I service as well as a business coach. And one of the tricky things that I find with my with my coachees is the fact that maybe there's a brick and mortar business that they have, and they're not really good at social media, and they're not really good at putting together the technology that they need, the software that they need, the CRM, all of the stuff that goes, right? And so they're sometimes they don't even know that that can qualify them to be able to ask for what would I call it? Maybe a growth loan from you guys or something like that. You don't, if you've already started your business, if you're a brick and mortar business or you're a network marketing business and you want to expand maybe your technology, your inventory and all of that, can those people pueden todavía preguntar y pedir dinero? ¿Sí o no? ¿Y cómo va?
I marketing is everything. From my credit union world, I did some marketing. So I think marketing is really important for your business. If that is that you need to invest some money on a coach, someone that could handle your marketing, commercials. So if you need a billboard, if you need to add some signage outside your business, you can always apply to start or expand the business. And you can add marketing in there and put a budget for marketing. And that money can be used for marketing. There's a point in your business where you're not going to have time for marketing. You're going to be very invested in the business, trying to make sure that you have, example, a restaurant, you have enough food to be able to, make all those sandwiches. You're going to want to work the kitchen. You're going to want to be that cashier. And I've run into that issue where my clients are telling me, Larissa, this business is taking so much time that I can no longer be my accountant. I can no longer be the marketing director. I can no longer be the CEO. Like, I need to focus myself in one thing and really get those experts who could help me to thrive in my business. So yes, the capital can be used for if you need marketing, if you need to hire an accountant, you could definitely use the money for that. So as long as you put it in your profit and loss statement that you show us, budget some marketing in, and we can consider a loan for marketing as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You just outlaid the whole little, the whole, what's it called? The whole little trail of a solopreneur, ¿verdad? And yeah. And here's what I want to share with you as well. My listeners, no tengan miedo. Don't be afraid to ask for a loan. One of the things that we do as mujerpreneurs, as women of color, as Latinas, we think that it spells weakness if we ask for help. And let me tell you, that is the thing that is furthest, that is the notion, that is the thought that is furthest from the truth, because true, intelligent people know where their limits lie and know when they need to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And so whether you need finances, whether you need to coach up, whether you need new software, whether you need, and you don't know how to do it, you need to find somebody, like myself, a necessity as well, to ask for help. Mujeres, no tengan miedo, no tengan vergüenza. Pedir ayuda es algo significante y es muy importante para el crecimiento de su negocio y de su autoestima. It helps so much, right? So
Yes,
that's
Marty.
what I
And
would
then
like.
also, if I could add something, si puedo agregar algo, como latinas nosotros nos criaron con no vas a gastar más dinero de lo que tienes. Si nomás tienes $10, nomás vas a gastar los $10. Pero aquí no trabaja de esa manera. If you're trying to expand the business, if you're trying to start the business, reach out to the lender in the meantime where you do have funds. Because when you are in trouble, when you have no money, when you already have late payments in your vehicle, in your home, and you come to me and you want me to help you out, it's going to be very hard. We won't be able to lend you if you are already in trouble. So plan for those kind of things. Plan for your expansion. Plan for the opening of your business when you do have the funds to do so. So I feel that's just very important. And it breaks my heart when clients are coming to me and say, Larissa, I invested everything I had. I already have the building. I already have the food, everything, but I forgot I had to give a deposit to turn the light on in the business. So I didn't budget for that. Now I don't have inventory to open the doors and sell anything. Please, can you lend me? And I kind of like stopped paying my car. I kind of stopped paying my house to be able to invest in the business. And it breaks my heart to say, we can't help you all the time because you have late payments. So how would you be able to sustain our monthly payment? And that's just very important. If you're listening to this podcast, please come to me whenever you're not in trouble.
Yes, that's so true. And, we've got to get one of the reasons that I was, that I really started to look at this and started to really niche down is because I see so many people out there, so many Latinas, so many mujerpreneurs that are out there that wait until it's too late. And so that's why, I prayed. I started the podcast, and all of a sudden it started to unfold. And there's a lot of mujerpreneurs, and the biggest segment, I want to put this in because I'm such a stat freak. Could it be because I used to teach algebra también? So here it is. The segment of the population that is growing the fastest in entrepreneurship and opening up business is Latina mujeres. And we are a force to be reckoned with, but we need tools and we need to know where we can turn. And that's why accessity.org. Now tell me again, you guys are I know you've helped a really cool coffee shop way over there in Coachella. I love it. Every time I go there, I have to have his coffee.
Yeah.
I know you. So tell me again, what counties are you in?
I serve the Imperial County and Coachella Valley.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
But just a city as a whole, San Diego, Riverside, the Inland Empire, Coachella Valley, Imperial Valley, Orange County, and Los Angeles.
LA. That's a big county. Wow.
Yes, we recently expanded about 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
I was just going to say, is that new? Yes. Nice. Okay. So mujeres, si están aquí por donde quiera, ¿verdad? Con todos los condados de San Diego, todos los condados de Riverside y ahora todos los condados de Los Ángeles. Mujeres, si necesitan algo, llámenle a Larissa, y aunque ella no vaya a ser la persona que les va a ayudar, ella las va a referir con alguien que las pueda ayudar, ¿verdad? So remember, ask for help before you need it. It's so critically important. Is there anything else that Accessity, does that we didn't mention?
As far as I know, I believe I cover everything right now. pretty much what we do. We are not doing any lines of credits. I do get those a lot, but we only do loans up to 72 months, and our interest rate are as low as 6.99 up to 14.99%. And something very important is that if the client were to want to pay off that loan before the term, there is no penalty fee whatsoever. So that's another important factor.
Yeah, prepay. Yes, absolutely, because that's where they get you, the prepayment penalty, and it's like, what? You want to keep me in debt, it sounds like, right? And some of those credit cards do that, and some of those loans. So yes. So now let me ask you this. When somebody needs help, how do they go about applying? And and how long does that process take? Where do they go to apply?
Yeah, so they can visit our website, www.accessity.org, and they can apply online. But we really encourage clients to call us first to give them that inquiry call before. That way they know how much they're going to apply for, if they're comfortable with the interest rate. And then once they apply, we'll connect them with the loan processor if everything goes well with the credit. And the loan processor will guide them to be able to get that file ready to send it to underwriting. Usually, whenever it's in the loan processing stage, it takes as much as the client wants, because if the client has a full file and they send it to us, we'll right away send it to underwriting, and it'll take about maybe 7-10 business days to be able to give them an answer. And once we get that and they get approved, we sign, and everything's electronic now. So there's no face-to-face that they need to have. Every online is, electronic. Everything that we sign, contract, electronic. Funds get sent through electronically as well, unless they want to check that we need to go pay a vendor. But everything is online now. It's just so easy nowadays.
And that brings to mind another question for like myself. Okay, so let's say there's somebody out there like me that is an affiliate marketer. Okay. My office is my home office, right? Mm-hmm. I create books, I put them on Amazon, I'm a KDP author, and then they sell, but I need maybe, maybe $1,000 to buy a new software that really tricks out the covers of, but it's all online. Can those people apply as well?
Yeah, so those small loans up to $8,000 are actually less documentation that we need. And those can get approved as fast as 3 days. And if it's to purchase a software and this would help you expand the business, we can definitely look into it and see if this is something we could fund based on, like I said, credit and cash flow. Yeah. We can most definitely take a look at that for sure.
It's really important, because there's a lot of online businesses. Like there's online coaches, there's network marketers that are online, there is affiliate marketers, there is digital course creators, and and brick and mortar businesses. Obviously, we all know you help those. But what about all the other ones that I just mentioned? Yes.
Yeah, so you don't need to have an office on site. You can work from home if you want to apply for a business. We have a lot of online clothing stores that their businesses at home. Ladies who clean, that businesses from home, they go elsewhere to do the cleaning services. We have truckers, a lot of truckers who their registered business is at home. They're just trucking all the time. So definitely you do not need to have a storefront to be able to apply for a business loan.
Yay. So that's it. That's important. That's important because in this day and age, many of us are working, from home. I know there's jobs now, all these chat people, they work from home. They don't go to the office. They do that. And, everything that I have is hung on a software platform. All my courses that people buy, the books and all of that, it's all online. And one of the things that I ran into was the fact that when I went to the bank to open up a checking account in the business name, they were like, oh, well, what's your brick and mortar address where you conduct business? And I'm like, I can give you the IP address. Right. But they're a little bit behind the times. So this is great. This is great that you guys are a little more forward, a little more up to speed with what's happening, because, also too, what about, now let me ask you this, let me throw this at you.
Mm-hmm.
What about an influencer?
You know what? That one, we have not had people who apply for a loan as an influencer. I'm not really sure. I can't really say yes or no.
It's gonna be
I would
interesting.
definitely, if there's anybody as an influencer asking for a business loan, and they can definitely call me and I can make research and see who I can connect them with. But I don't believe we can help any funding for influencers.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting to watch you guys. I love watching you guys. That Accessity.org has come from only brick and mortar and being a really small to, now growing and helping the digital entrepreneur, the mujerpreneur that's digital, right? And I call it digital, but because we're behind a screen all the time. So it's really amazing. So Larissa, is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you want to share?
Wow. Well, just as we're getting closer to, a lot of farmers markets and the holidays, I encourage for anybody who's looking to buy more inventory to please come to me now. That way we can get them the money that they need in order for them to sustain that high demand during the holidays. And then another thing is that, tax season will be coming up soon for those who file as only personal and business. And, just talking to your accountant and letting them know if you're planning to apply for a business loan, because the worst thing that could happen is for you to pretty much report all losses at the end of the year. And so if you're trying to expand or acquire a business loan, that's going to be a little hard to get a business loan if you are reporting those losses at the end of the year. So just those two tips that I have, and don't be shy. Call me, call us. We're here to help out, and we'll get you to that right path to get a business loan.
Right. And so now I'm going to throw another, you keep saying these things and it reminds me, and I promise after this we're done. The edupreneurs, if you're an edupreneur, and what that means is basically, are you a teacher and do you sell your things? Do you create content to sell to other teachers or whatever? That's called an edupreneur. Mm-hmm. If you're an edupreneur or a mujerpreneur and you need help, you need to figure out what software to use or whatever. I have some really good software ideas that I've used, that I've studied, that I've researched. I love HoneyBook, and if you need a other than QuickBooks, HoneyBook is free for educators, and so there's a lot of things. You just need to ask me, Marty Angel, the Latina business coach. Ask Accessity.org. We have resources to empower you, the mujerpreneur, and that's what we do. We're here for that. Larissa, muchas gracias, hermosa. Thank you so much for being here. This is exciting. The next time, though, that we get on is we're just going to be Larissa. I just want to know about Larissa, right? And right now you're business development Larissa, but you're so cute. I have to think about, you can really relate. So I would love to have you on a personal level. Thank you so much for coming. And if you are watching us live right now on the Coach Marty Angel, give me a few minutes and I'm going to post their website and their link in the comments below, in the description of the actual video. And if you're listening to me on the podcast, then please take a look down below. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure that you also subscribe and become a listener. Download the episode, listen to it, and you can get rid of it once you're done listening to it. But there too, I will drop the links. As always, I am so incredibly grateful, Larissa, incredibly grateful for everybody here who has joined us. And as always, I'm here to help. We're here to help. Have a beautiful day and a great weekend. Namaste. This episode brought to you by Celavive Hydrating and Lifting Sheet Mask. The Celavive Hydrating and Lifting Sheet Mask locks in intense moisture to perfectly prime your skin for restful sleep. Apply this relaxing hydration serum several times a week to pamper yourself and radiate your healthier looking complexion. Sheet masking is all the rage right now. Make it a regular part of your healthy skincare regimen today. Celavive Hydrating and Lifting Sheet Mask. Click the link below and get yours today.